Okay, everybody, we are almost ready for ignition. There we go. We got audio and we're good to go. Okay, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm just getting everything so I can see it. Whew, big topic today. So the topic of this live, let me get comfortable here, is are you whole and why it's important. Now, what does being whole mean? So as a being of light, a being that's part of source, a being that's been around for a long, long time, our energy is vast. And we come into a human incarnation. There's the higher self of part of ourselves, and then we come in and we agree to be separate. So what comes in is we have this ego that comes in, and it basically protects us, hides us, hacks and slashes us in any way, form to keep us from going back to our connection to source. It allows us to have a human experience. Unfortunately, it's given far too much control, but it also hides part of us. It kind of takes away our awareness. It creates a veil, and it'll even alter facts and reality to basically keep us from becoming aware. Strange, right? We got these parts of us that are shrinking us and hacking at us. Now, secondly, in this universe, we have to understand that there's a level of darkness and control that's in this world that's been around for a very long time. We came in agreeing to participate, et cetera, et cetera. I honestly think that we're kind of given almost like a leash or a collar that basically allows them to attach to our energy, take any excess, et cetera. Now that may be confusing, that may be scary or whatever, but it's what we agreed to. I don't know. It's something that we all agreed to make lessons. There was malevolence created in it. There was darkness, etc. But as part of being able to keep us down from rising up, to get into our fullness, to get abundant, to find love, to do all these things and keep us in a low enough vibration that we can be attached to, a lot of things happen in this world. So let's first start with just simple things like your utility bills. When you go in and you want to get electricity in your house, you pay to an electricity company, you sign a binding contract. Be really careful with these words because they really mean something, but you basically agree to give yourself a piece of them for the period of your owning that electricity function at your house. Now, why do you have to write a binding contract? They don't really care. They say it's because, yeah, there's service fees and all this kind of stuff. No, they bind you. They literally take some of your energy and feed off it all the time that you're with the electric company. Same with the gas company, same with the cell phone company, landlords. Ooh, there's an energy. What's again, binding contract. You are now bound by them to follow their rules. And that's the only way you can have a place to live is if you follow their rules to the letter. So you're bound again. Once again, not completely free. So when you start adding up, okay, all these contracts, credit card contracts, bank contracts, loans, mortgages. Oh, there's an ugly word. So mortgage, that's where everybody learns to buy their house through, is you pay a 7% interest or whatever, and you just basically keep paying for the house for a very long time. And basically mortgage means death contract. The root Greek, or is it Greek? I can't I'm trying to remember now. Latin exactly is basically death contract. So you're signing a contract where they can take your house if you don't pay it, and you lose all your equity and all these kind of things until death or the term of that contract completes. And how many people extend their mortgage and all these kind of things? If you look at it from an energetic side, we're bound by a million of these all over the place. We're even bound by stuff we see in TV commercials, bound by salesmen. It's like they learn to cast like spells with their words that draw you in and make you interested. And then next thing you know, you're buying a $30,000 car. And you're like, the next day, it's like, how the frick did that happen? That is really confusing. And when you buy a house, when you buy large ticket items, etc. There's a whole bunch of binding going on. Now, let's get into family circumstances. We have contracts with family, like what a good family is, and what a good son is, and what a good daughter is, and what a good wife is, and what a good mother is, and what a good child is, and all these things. And then they just keep going on. So it goes from our great grandparents to our grandparents to us to our parents, sorry, and then to us, and then to our children. And it keeps going down. That's what epigenetic lineage talks about. We all have these obligations of a good family member to trust and keep faith, etc. So we're bound by our family members. We're bound by the traumas that our parents have. They'll kind of put hooks into us and say, oh, I'm hurting. So you have to give me love. You have to stand for me when I'm being ugly and complaining and frustrated. These contracts are there. Then we get into love relationships. So now we're kind of devoting and binding ourselves. A marriage, for example, is till death do us part. It's a binding. It's now you're locked into that person's energy and you've made a life contract. Till death do you part. How do you unbind something like that? How do we go to a marriage and then go to a divorce? And it's like, okay, I'm shattering this contract. Well, those contracts are still out there. Most people don't even know how to unbind themselves from their marriage before they start the next one. Do you think the next one's going to survive if you're not unbound out of the other one? You can release the piece of paper, but you made an energetic contract with that person in the universe. Did you even know that? So you start looking at it. Then it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like clothing. Okay, what do we got here? Adidas on my shirt. We're bound to that logo. We give it power. We pay extra money for it because it's good. Nike, Disney, any big name. Looking at it and because we love it, because etc. We put a part of our energy into it. It's like, I really love that. I got to have all my clothing be this. The style is great. It becomes part of my personality. It becomes part of my energy. And we don't even know that we're doing these things to ourselves. So are you whole is a pretty big question. And if any of these things resonated with you and you know, and you have a feeling that, oh yeah, you've been giving your energy to these things, now you're aware. And this is the really cool part. You can still have that piece of paper contract, but you can remove the energetic part of it. They do not tell you that there's an energetic part to it. But once you're aware of it and know you never agreed to give a part of your soul to have electricity or a cell phone or a data plan or anything, you're aware and they don't like it. But you can just make it as simple as this. Sit down, close off the energy and say, oh, Scotiabank, that's my bank. Scotiabank, I revoke all energetic implied contracts in any way, shape, or form with you that involve my energy. I clear, end, cut, clear, dissolve, and resolve all cords, contracts, energies, and attachments. Poof, send it out into the universe. And then you can even go more generic, like I dissolve all contracts with my soul that were engaged without my conscious awareness as a human being. And I dissolve those contracts. I return my energy and I return their pittance of energy and call the contract complete at all levels, all bodies, all incarnations once again. Oh, boom. Integrity, stuff, energy that you didn't know you'd lost has come back because you've unknowingly given all these things. You unknowingly been bound coming into this life. So you can go back and say, I revoke all contracts, all social insurance numbers, all governmental attachments, anything that was done without my conscious awareness. From the moment I was born until this time and in all past lifetimes, I hereby clear them and dissolve them and resolve them and end those contracts, smash and take back what is mine and give back what is theirs and be done and call it all into conscious awareness. Poof, all of a sudden, whoa, what's going on here? I'm bigger than I thought. I'm more powerful. I'm more confident than I thought because those energies were stolen from you without your conscious awareness. Does it feel different? Did you call those things in? How does it feel in your body? Maybe pause the video, make that call and ask, and then see how it feels and see how there's achiness and different weird things as things are detaching from you that you didn't even know were there. And then we can get into really crazy ones like relationship stuff where people manipulate and they traumatize you and do all these things to keep control of you because they're not confident themselves and they want to have friends, but they don't want their friends to be better than them or whatever. I know this happens with women a lot. Men just beat the piss out of each other, or they have a massive fight, because really we don't see any value in those things. But it happens. Women do it to men all the time. Mothers do it to children. Fathers do it sometimes. There's like all these underneath things from our wounds that are attaching. So what we're trying to do is release all those things. Become consciously aware of how my actions, like, for example, integrity to me, so we'll get to the word integrity in a sec, but integrity is following through with your word, doing what you said. How many times do you make a promise to someone and then have to break that promise and feel really bad about it because it's not in alignment with a binding or an agreement you've already made and you didn't even know it was there? And really to commit it and to follow through with that person might have to make you admit that you had lack of integrity, you had let the lack of follow through. There's so many things underneath that are in our unconscious belief because of these bindings that are guiding every action that we make. It's a subconscious thing. It's like, oh, I don't have enough money because I agreed to pay income tax. I don't have enough money because I agreed to pay interest on 20% interest on a credit card. All these kind of things. That's the simple ones. Next, it comes, when they start sending the bill collectors or the collections agents or anything that doesn't really have any power over you, but they're using coercion and manipulation and all this kind of stuff to force you into doing it when they don't have any legal way to do it. It's just all about power and yelling and forcefulness. Poof. How many people have been in that? We didn't agree to these things, but we as people that are following the rules felt obligated to do it because everybody else was. And if we weren't part of the crowd, then whatever. But now as you're waking up, you're saying, holy fuck, I'm not whole. I make decisions for no reason and I don't know what's going on. And I'm really confused. And why am I always angry and all this kind of stuff? Because you gave up all this shit. And really, it was yours to give, but it was at such an innocence level that really it's disgusting what they've done to us. So how do we become whole? So we revoke all those contracts that we were talking about. We start shining into stuff that's going on, like people coercing us, or it's like, oh, well, you got to come help me move this weekend, or you're not a good friend or whatever. Ooh, there's a stab in the back. Well, why are you accepting a stab in the back? Do you really want them as a friend if they want you to move them, but they sure as hell won't move you when it comes their time? There's tons of people in the world that would do that. So take that back. Go back into your relationships. Take back any love energy that you gave this person. We're believing that we have to give love to other people to get love back. No, that's all broken. That's all fucking programming. What we need to do is we need to take all of our love back and love ourselves and be in a version of selfish. And people are going to hate this because everybody shames selfish. No, the person that chooses themselves first is the person that's loving themselves. And nobody's going to love you as much as you will. Your parents, anybody, they won't. So you really got to focus and pull back that love into you so you can really feel safe and comfortable in this body and standing up to people before you give an iota of yourself outwards. Because a lot of you that have been through multiple marriages or divorces or had breakups or whatever, it takes a long time to get your energy back from that other person. You're broken and hurt and you're heartbroken for a long, long time. Can you imagine if you're an infinite being, how many times that's happened and it's still stuck in your energetic field or that of your parents or your epigenetic lineage? So we got to go back in and start cleaning house, saying bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend, bad whatever, and just say, this is my energy. I love you. I forgive you. I take everything back that I gave you. You can have everything back. And now we can start to heal. And that's the only way you're going to go forward. Because they're going to hold on for dear life to anything that's not theirs. And if a breakup happened, a lot of time you've given far more than they've given. So they're getting the winning side of it. So take it back. And you're going to find they're going to heal quicker and they're going to resolve. And that thing is going to fall apart. The thing that's between, because it's like little children holding on to something that's not theirs. Get it back. Get whole again. Where's your energy flawed? Where's your money? Where are you giving your time and energy to somebody that doesn't appreciate you? It could be a boss. It could be a job. Every time you ask for more money or want to be respected more, they yell at you or they use these manipulation tactics to steal your energy. How many people? I've worked for many, many powerful men that had big companies. And every time I wanted to step up and take a bigger role and to be at the same level as them, they either fired me or smashed me because that made them feel insecure. They were using my energy to help promote them. And I freely gave it because I thought, oh, that's what a good little employee does. And that's what a good little boy does. How many times do you do that in your life? Take your energy back. It doesn't mean leave your job or whatever. Just say, hey, you're not going to talk to me like that. Why are you yelling right now? This isn't acceptable. And talk to them like a little child. Yeah, they may get mad and they may get even more angry, but eventually they're going to have no choice but to listen to you, or maybe you have to walk away. If they cannot take that lesson or learn that thing, maybe you got to walk away for your highest good. Maybe it's for your safety. Maybe they would get violent and want to hurt because they can't deal with their energy. So taking all these bits of ourselves back. And then we get into the idea of sovereignty. So sovereignty is like a kingdom. So each of us has our own kingdom, our own reality, the bubble that's around us. But that sovereignty often involves this friend and this lover and this parent and this whatever, brothers and sisters that don't have our highest interests at heart. We're giving to them, or they're in their wound and they're sad and they're angry and they're frustrated all the time, or in the middle of a divorce and they won't listen to anything and they're just feeding off you. And literally you're holding them back from moving forward because you're giving them sympathy and some of your energy. What we need to do is say, okay, I love you, I thank you. And this can be at an energetic level. You don't even have to say out loud to them, and just push them away. And they're not going to want to approach anymore because you've set a boundary. You set a sovereignty. Now my energy, my troops, my pieces of me that were out helping save the world, all of a sudden come back to the borders of my kingdom. My sovereignty means all my energy is contained within the walls of me. And then you start looking inside and say, oh, these things are feeding. Oh, there's vines and fangs and other things pulling on me. And you're going to find out eventually that all these things weren't serving you. You're going to find the people and you're going to have to say, goodbye. You don't belong in my life. You're not helping me. I'm helping the shit out of you and you don't give a shit. And then all of a sudden you prune and prune. And it's going to feel a little lonely once in a while. But once you know what the power of you and your castle is, you're sovereign. And then when people come and knock on your door and they want to take advantage of you again, you're like, no fucking way. Thank you. I appreciate it, but have a good day. And then they're like, what the hell just happened? But they want to be like you because you feel really powerful and you're bright and you're happy. You're choosing no more. And then integrity comes along with that. Once you're in sovereignty and you're making your own decisions and you have no energy going out to other people, you start doing what you say. Every word you say is said impeccably. And that impeccable words means you do and you create and you do everything from self-love and from unconditional love outwards. And magic happens. All of a sudden, people are like wanting to be around you, and they'll test your integrity by doing unintegral things. And you have this choice. You either just gently shove them away, or you have a discussion with them and say, that's not an integrity for me, but I'm just letting you know to be a reflection, because that doesn't make me feel safe or comfortable. I'd really love if you could be more integral. And here's how I see you could do that. And they may be like, oh, where the fuck are you to get off saying that stuff to me? And it's like, no. 3 strikes, you're out is in my world. The price of admission for somebody to be in my life, women especially, because I'm finding a lot of lack of integrity and a lot of lack of accountability. And if you don't like that, go look inside, because there's a lot of women that are doing it. And they'll be the first thing to scream and yell and say, you're wrong. And the very fact that they're so angry about it tells you exactly what's going on. And I love women. I want to be around them, but I don't find them safe more often than not because they're lacking integrity. They don't even have their own sovereignty. They're feeding off their girlfriends and the girls' club and the women's group and all this kind of stuff. And everybody's supporting each other in this is okay. We've all been wounded and this victimness. No more. So expect a video soon. It's something I have to do for my inner self-love, but to speak of my experience and how I've been hurt and wounded by manipulation and other things because people aren't in integrity. They're not in sovereignty. They're not whole. So they're just hanging on for dear life and attaching and doing stuff without even telling, and then expecting the man to pretend it's not there and other things, it just gets disgusting. So that's wholeness. And we're being pushed. If you're finding a lot of people are leaving your life and there's a lot of shitty stuff happening around you, you are going through this test of wholeness. You are being tested to see if you want that energy in your life. Do you want to continue that way? Do you want to keep showing up in this ugly way and you don't even know why you did? So all of a sudden you make a choice and say, nope, not allowing that person in my life. No, you're not going to speak to me like that. No, don't be doing that. And people are going to think, holy fuck, what an asshole or whatever. No, because they're scared shitless of doing the same thing. They know you're shining for a reason. The reason they want to approach and they want to be around you is because you're shining. And they love that. And it scares the hell out of them that they're going to have to go and do that same work. But we're in integrity. We're going to be a shining example. And anytime people show up, and it's only going to show up a few times, they're going to bang into the wall and they're going to realize this is the price of admission. And I love to bring people in once they've met the price of admission. And it's not even a cost. The price of admission is their own behavior. It's not like, give me abundance and here, join my group and my community or whatever. No, you be an integral, accountable, whole person. And I will love you for the rest of your life. Be in your sovereignty, constantly figure out sovereignty. Call me on my shit. I'll call you on your shit. Magic. This is the new world. This is 5D reality, but we got to take some really big steps and it's going to be scary, but without wholeness, you're lost. You're diluted, not diluted, diluted, like so little of your energy is in your body. A lot of people are running around with less than half of their love, their soul effort, their body, because they've given it away to all these entities, all these darknesses, churches. There's another one. Start giving your heart, soul, and listen to some of the prayers. I was in the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, one of the first things, I have sinned through my own fault in my thoughts and in my words and what I have done and what I have failed to do. Anybody without religion is going to listen to that and just gag. I've sinned in my thoughts, so stuff I didn't even do yet. And then in what I failed to do, I'm now sinning because I didn't do stuff. It just makes us permanently demented. So I cancel all of that energy, all of the Catholic Church energy. It's not doing what it's saying. It teaches unconditional love, but it puts a God above you. It puts a priest above you. It puts a pope above you. It puts all these kind of things. And then it puts sin above you. And sin doesn't even mean something bad. Sin means off course for an archer. The word sin, you say your arrow is in sin when it didn't hit the bullseye. Ooh. So sin's all of a sudden a different thing. It's like us testing to see if we're doing better in the world, trying new tasks, trying new things, and not beating the shit out of us, saying we're going to go to hell and we're going to have to die when we make a mistake. It's like, oh, I'm adjusting course. I'm realigning and I'm moving forward. So look at all these things that are supposedly helping us, but they have other purposes and the words underneath don't align, but on the outside, they're big and rosy and shiny and all spiritual and beautiful. Even spirituality, a lot of things like Tantra and stuff like that are so darkly freaking attached. Run right now until we get some better Tantra groups and better leaders and people that are fully in transparency and accountability and sovereignty and in integrity. It's scary. I'm going to tell you this, a lot of times your Tantra leaders are more wounded than anybody in the whole group. And that's why they became a leader. Do you want that? Is that a person that's done their work? No, they just want to sit in a bowl where people are all safe and aligned and meeting their rules, and they have power and control so nobody can hurt them. So it's really, really, really important to become whole. We need this to fully awaken. We need this to get our lives back. We need this to be able to choose and create, because everything else is just being bound and you're hooked. Like, if you ever seen the Gulliver Travels where he's roped down on the beach and the ropes are all puny and stuff, but there's 10,000 of them. You're that powerful. You're Gulliver. You're that guy that's waiting to pull up. And in the Jack Black version of the movie or whatever, he does eventually. He gets his strength up and then all of a sudden he pulls his shoulder up after thinking he was trapped for all this time. And all of a sudden the whole wall comes tumbling down. No more. Look at that picture, feel that picture as you're going to be surprised. So I would love you to be whole. If anything's confusing about this or you need help in how to find this for yourself, put a note below. Thank you all. Thank you for listening. This is powerful stuff. So love you. Have a great day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.